That could never happen to me. Said by every single person while watching the Tinder Swindler or Inventing Anna. Don't act like you didn't watch those two shows, and don't act like you didn't think that would never happen to me. Yet fraud is on the rise. We're gonna look at how you can avoid getting scammed and the most common scams to look out for in the first place. Did you know that romance scams accounted for $64 million in Canada alone in 2021? Yeah, you're probably thinking, how could this happen to people? It's so obvious. They're so stupid. Well, I mean, that's $64 million that was accounted for, and they're saying that's an underestimate because only apparently, this is the Canadian Anti-Fraud Center, only about 5% or so they're estimating of romance frauds get reported because who wants to call somebody and say, hey, this person I'm seeing never paid me back or I gave them 10 grand, right? So before you look at how to avoid getting scammed, let's talk about the most popular scams. There's 5 scams you need to watch out for. The biggest scam is an investment scam, and this you see all the time. I mean, it's the biggest issue for me personally, trying to create personal finance content, is that like everyone's wary of this kind of content because there's so many investment scams. This covers so much ground. It's anybody promising you high risk, low risk, high returns. It's such a scam I can't even say it properly. Low risk, high returns. Somebody messaging you about cryptocurrency, which we've got into in previous videos. Anything involving easy money, guaranteed money, free money, anything along those lines. So if you get an unsolicited message from somebody, it's a scam. Just assume it's a scam, Especially if they say there's no effort involved. Like, come on. If I found ways to make easy money, and it's not. Like, I'm not in a hurry to make a video. Like, when an investment's going up, I'm like, okay, this is kind of good, but I'm not sure if I should share this, if it's legit or not. If someone's so sure of themselves and they're so sure that it's so easy, they're scamming you or it's a lie. So anything to do with investing is number 1. And number 2 is romance scams, which, like I mentioned before, $64 million. Romance scams, as you know, from Inventing Anna or from the Tinder Swindler, it could be anything. But usually it's somebody asking you for money, asking you to cover the bill. There's one guy with I was just reading the story. It's kind of stupid. He went for dinner, promised the world, and then he forgot his credit card, and the girl, the female, paid for the dinner, and he goes, "I'll send you $90." Then he never did. I mean, that's a lot of work for a $90 scam. To risk your credibility for $90. But hey, just people scamming, and or it's like as you see in Tinder Swindler, somebody asking you for money. They build that trust, a rapport, and you're like, oh wow. And I don't want to get into that whole story, but that's a common scam. Number 3 is a spearfishing. So this is very common lately too. It's those emails you get or those text messages with random links. General rule: don't click any link. I don't click any links at all unless I know you guys or someone's creating content. Or anything to do with your Amazon account, your taxes, someone's being held hostage. These get very creative too. Like I had someone say that they have all my passwords and they have videos of me and they will release them unless I send them money. So anybody asking for any kind of money, and one easy trick usually is to ignore all emails like that. But specifically, Canada Post or Canada Revenue or U.S. government, they have official emails, So like you have to look at the actual email. I've had people show me, they're like, oh, I got scammed, or I had this email, and I look at it, I'm like, it's like usgov@gmail.ca or some like random email. I'm like, that's not even legit. It's not even a real website, and I would assume it's a scam in the first place. Number 4 most common scam was that merchandise, and I've heard stories about this. This is when you buy tickets. You could be buying like gaming tickets, sport event tickets, any kind of tickets. And this sort of gets tricky because everything's so digital now. So you could be buying like tickets to the game. You think you got a good deal. You're buying nothing. It's a total scam. It applies to dogs too. This is very messed up. People are very twisted in this world. I've seen this on Facebook Marketplace. I'll see like a good offer and someone will respond with scam. So any kind of merchandise, from pets to shoes, be wary of it, and don't send money until you get the good. Verify it, double check. If it's too good to be true, it always is in life. And the last one is service scams. Not as popular because, of course, they're attacking the first 4. This is you pay for a service which you don't get. Obviously, it sucks. These are 5 scams to watch out for. And now we're going to look at general tips on how to protect yourself. So now you know what the most common scams are and how you can get scammed of your hard-earned money. Now I need to share some like general rules that I picked up over the years. This is from research, and I'm not judging you. Stuff happens. Con artists they're swindlers or charlatans. They're charming. They're charismatic. No one wants to get caught. It's kind of just what happens to good, honest people. So a couple of general rules. The first thing that I always tell everyone, or just one thing I know, is to avoid anyone who always acts successful. I'm an entrepreneur, and I'll tell you, it's very tough. It's a struggle every day. You'll never see me sharing quotes about how this is the best life and how everyone should be an entrepreneur. And yeah, so if someone's bragging how successful they are, chances are that they're lying. Because some of the richest people I know, they don't want you to know that they're rich. They're not announcing this on social media. So I would watch out for like screenshots. Like people post screenshots like, look, I made $40,000 today. Like anybody can make any screenshot. I can just go into Photoshop and edit anything to show you I made $1 million today. First of all, if I did do that, I wouldn't tell you, and nobody would want to be in a rush to tell you, right? For obvious reasons. The other thing, a general rule, is never loan money to strangers, no matter how creative the story is. And these people, they're gonna pull on your emotional strings, right? They're gonna use their grandparents. They're gonna use stories. I had a guy tell me his mom needed some medication. He had to send me money. The story could be true. Unfortunately, I assumed it wasn't, because you should not be sending money to strangers. That's just, it may sound harsh. Just don't do it. If you ever do send money, make sure it's only money you can afford to lose. If someone's begging you for money and you feel like you can lose $100 because you're doing well, that's okay. That's cool. That's very generous of you to do that. Third and most important thing is to remember that nobody can ever guarantee you high returns with low risk. Every time I make content, I tell you, here's how I make money, but there's no guarantees. I can't guarantee you anything. I can tell you to buy this stock and I think it'll go up. I can't guarantee my life on it. And I do say there's a risk involved, which I think that's what's fun about life. That's what makes things exciting. High risk, high return. Also high risk, higher chance of shit going the other way, right? So keep that in mind too. If you're this one's a bit more harsh, this rule, but if you're an average looking person, or if you're not, scoring a lot of dates normally, please don't think that super hot people online are into you. This is very harsh, I get it, but if you're a balding middle-aged man, I'm not naming anybody specifically, if a beautiful person messages you on social media, assume it's a scam. Just like, especially those no mutual friends. So one of the biggest scams in the romance space is I've seen this happen on Facebook. I get this gorgeous girl adding me. Like, oh, interesting. Like, you're kind of, everyone's like, oh, cool, some hot person's trying to add me. I look at the profile, I'm like, 8 friends. You can't be that attractive and have 8 friends, okay? It's a scam. And second of all, just deny it. And what I like, over the years, I went through phases where I would just approve everybody. Because I was like, oh, I need more friends, more followers. And then you get messages like, hey, sexy. First of all, like, nobody talks like that. So, and then they'll be like, oh, I was just, I'd love to meet up with you. Could you send me some money? Like, no. Hot people are not in a hurry to message you if you're not hot yourself. If you don't have a history of this, I know this is mean. You're not going to want to hear this. Just work your way up, Don't punch above your weight class. Know your limits. Almost lost my train of thought there. But if it sounds too good to be true, it always is. This applies to investment advice, people claiming they're in love with you and they think you're hot and they want to spend a week with you. Emails, merchandise, getting tickets to the game for a fraction of the price. Just know if something sounds too good to be true, be wary of it, watch out, it's your money. And finally, the most important general tip I can give is to always look at the source of information when you're getting something. So if someone's telling you they can promise you lots of money and you don't know who this person is, don't trust them. If someone you don't really know is offering you something, don't trust them. Always look at the source. And I get it, it's been a rough few years and you're thinking, wow, this person online, money magnet 45 is promising me lots of money and I really need lots of money because times are tough. And they've been tough for all of us, but this is the easiest time to get scammed. I heard from a reader who got a message from a friend's account who got hacked. He just lost his job, this guy. And someone promised him they could turn $1,000 into like 10,000, which is very tough. It could happen. That's a 10 times return. It could happen, but it's going to take a long time. Anyways, he sent the money into his wallet. Mentioned this before. Money's gone. You can't get it back. Once your money's been sent away, it's really tough to get it back. So always look at the source. And we're going to address one more important topic next. All right, guys. So we looked at the most popular scams, some general rules for how you can avoid getting scammed. Now I have to address a very uncomfortable question. So is everything a scam then? 'Cause I don't want you to be a cynical, negative, bitter person. I don't want you to be thinking, oh no, everything's a scam. I had this happen to me. I give someone some advice, and they're like, no, that sounds like a scam. Or I'm like, oh, you should consider starting an Airbnb experience. They're like, no, that sounds like a scam. Like, I get it. It's like, there's a fine line between being cautious and thinking everything's a scam, And this happened to me actually when I was in Mexico, and I just watched a Tinder Swindler, and then I lost my debit card, and then my other debit card wasn't working, and I needed some money, but I couldn't access my money. I'm like, man, I gotta ask somebody for money, but I'm gonna look like a swindler. So I was like, what do I do? Luckily, I found a debit machine that accepted my money, or accepted my card finally. I don't know how, well, it was like one of those random street ones. But yeah, I was in that situation where I was like, wow, because I don't want to be a scammer because I'm starting to think that everything's a scam. So you just want you to ask yourself a few questions, and I've already addressed this before, but always, before any situation, ask yourself, is this too good to be true? You know, if someone's promising you a dinner at a fancy restaurant, if you can't normally afford to go there, don't go there. Because yes, you're assuming they're going to cover your bill, but if you can't afford that bill, don't go there. I know it's tempting. Someone says, oh, let's go to the steakhouse. I know you're thinking like, wow, I get a $5,000 steak dinner for free. I get it. Everyone wants to say yes to offers like that. But just don't go. It's not worth it. It's not worth the stress and the drama. So if it sounds too good to be true, don't do it. Question number 2 is, do I know anyone doing this? This is very important before any, like for example, before like any, investment scam. Someone says, oh, if you buy this coin, it's gonna go up 10 times. Like, think to yourself, do I know anybody that's investing in coins that are going up 10 times? Like, what makes you think they're gonna be the first person in your extended social circle to make this happen? So reach out to some friends. And like, these people are gonna put the pressure on, these salespeople. Their techniques, they're gonna use scarcity. They're gonna say, if you don't act now, are they gonna say limited time offer? Are they gonna use every emotional marketing hack in the world out there on you? But you have to think, do I know anybody doing this? The third question I always ask myself for any situation is, why would someone do this for me, Like, full disclosure, when I promote an idea, I'm getting paid for it, right? If I'm promoting Rover, I'm getting paid for it. That's why I'm doing it. And I let my audience know, when I promote something, I get paid and they make money, we both win. But if some stranger's telling you they're doing something out of the goodness of their heart, like, they're not. Unless it's your brother or your long-lost relative of your partner. I mean, if it's a current relative, not a long-lost relative, or if it's like a partner, yeah. But ask yourself, why would someone do this for me? No stranger's gonna message you online and promise you all this stuff. It's just not gonna happen. And the final question always is this: can I sleep on this? So if someone throws you an offer that's too good to be true, sleep on it, think about it, then you'll get your answer. That's how you can avoid getting scammed in 2022. Keep more money in your pocket. Good luck.